All right, we are taking a look at Inertia in the Dark, and I'm joined by MapleLeaf. How are you doing today?
Doing good. How about you?
Yeah, doing great so far. So I'll get into playing the game, and if you could introduce us, if you could talk about your background in game development and you're the solo developer on this project, right?
Yeah, just me.
Cool. So yeah, have you been participating in many game jams before?
Um, yes and no. I think I've just had like a passing interest in participating in game jams, but I've just never really had the attention span to just go through and finish a game. So yeah, I think I have made a couple of games here and there, but I don't really have like extensive like catalog or anything like that. So I think I would consider this my one of my first like fully featured, in the very generous sense of the word, game jam games.
Okay. Yeah, I just plugged in a controller because I see that was the
Oh,
recommendation here.
absolutely. Yeah, controllers are the right way to play this game.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I see. I see what kind of game we're dealing with here.
Yeah,
Um, oh God. Okay.
if you ever played
Um,
like Celeste or even like F-Zero GX or games like that, this will feel a little familiar.
this might be tricky because the way that the whole screen rotates like that is probably
hmm
gonna trip my motion sensitivity. So I'll see.
Oh
I'll probably just
yeah,
play like really slowly and really carefully.
yeah. I actually intentionally
Oh God.
designed the game in such a way where you can go slow if you want to.
Yes, I definitely appreciate that. So we're not gonna be setting any records. Not like last
Yeah.
game we played. Are you kidding me? I got so close. Oh man. But yeah, so I guess we'll sort of get right into the inspiration then. So you mentioned Celeste and F-Zero. Were those meant
Yeah.
to be? Oh god.
Also like flyweight, like micro difficulty games where like the controls are really tight and like getting into it often feels very unforgiving but
Mm.
also satisfying. That's the kind of vibe I was trying to go
Okay, well we're gonna see if I can clear level two. Oh, actually, yeah. Dr. Tronic mentions this looks like it would run really well on mobile.
with.
Oh, you can strafe, of course. So
Oh
that helps. That helps a lot. Well, hang on. Wait.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, like there is no limit on strafing either. Remember
Hmm.
what I said before?
Yeah. I feel like I feel like I've realized something about the game. You
Yep.
can strafe your way to victory
hmm
sideways. It's interesting. I'm just holding right bumper and tilting like 90 degrees out of phase.
Yep.
Um, Interesting. Yeah, I really need to start actually experimenting with the strafing controls because it seems like we can get some really neat movement options.
Oh yeah, there's so like I like how with just basically there are
Oh
only three
god.
movement mechanics like boosting, turning, and strafing, and
Mhm.
there's like so much tech that just on its own just came out of that. Like the fact that you can move really fast if you boost in the same direction that you're strafing.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
How do you boost in the same direction that you strafe? Because don't you strafe 90 degrees out of phase with the direction your character is moving?
The thing is, when you boost, you keep moving in that direction, hence the inertia in the
Oh,
title.
okay.
And that's what makes this level so hard. I call it the anxiety curve.
Okay, so the to do that you would okay, never a skillful player would start like boosting in that direction, then turn and then strafe, and now I'm like adding my strafe momentum is adding to my forward momentum.
Yeah. Although with this level, you're more or less forced to just boost multiple times if you want to get through it, because again, you keep going in a straight line until you boost again.
Yes,
Yeah.
although you can also do it this way.
Yeah. Again, like no restrictions. Play however you want to.
No, I think that the like just the oh god, now we're doing now it's now we're moving. Okay,
Yeah.
I suddenly see a problem with my okay, we're just hoping a prayer. Anyway, that's going to be the way that I get through this, if at all.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, can you talk a little bit about the actual development process for this?
Yeah. So, at first I wanted to do something like almost entirely different. I the first idea I had was like some sort of like dungeon crawler or roguelike with with the same sort of like snappy control elements, like high difficulty, the same kind of vibe that I have now. But I pivoted because I think that would be too large in scale because I had to think of like a bunch of enemies and stuff. So I wanted to
Right.
go for something a lot simpler, and then I thought back to like the games that I like, and F-Zero is one of my favorite games of all time. So I figured like making something like that would be really conductive for my productivity, I guess. And then I worked just like thinking about what kinds of challenges I could make with this control scheme, what mechanics I could add, such as these gravity pits, which you're having lots of trouble with, and also the moving obstacles, and like all the ways that I can challenge and or piss the player off, and just have lots of fun with that.
Which F-Zero, by the way?
All I grew up with F-Zero GX, but I also appreciate the other ones.
That's the GameCube one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just out of curiosity, because I know that that's the franchise that Nintendo has sort of like neglected for a while, so it's hard to tell. It's like,
Oh,
are you
absolutely.
coming into that from playing it on the Virtual Console, or are you playing it on the GameCube?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
curious.
I grew up with that. I played it so much as a kid. I
Nice.
was definitely a GameCube kid.
I remember, like, I honestly, other than maybe a few seconds of trying out F-Zero on the SNES via the Super Smash Brothers Brawl Masterpieces mode.
hmm
I haven't really gotten in. I haven't had any experience with playing the games, but I do remember watching the anime for F-Zero without subtitles because it didn't
Oh
have
man.
any. So I'm just watching. It's like, yeah, I think I understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh my god, weird stuff. Um, the anxiety curve, yeah. Um, the cycles of the moving objects should reset on death, so you always have the same start. Yeah, let's say. I mean,
Yeah.
I,
That is a common point of feedback. I I agree that that's probably the correct decision, but I
uh-huh.
also kind of sort of like the RNG of it. Kind of.
I mean, you did also make a comment about what can I do to piss the player off, so I feel like
Yeah.
that was not necessarily high on your list of priorities to
Yeah.
ensure a joyful play experience. But
I think there's definitely a balance to be had here. Like, if I wanted to, I could just make a completely unfair game. Like, I could just put a bunch of obstacles on this level if I wanted to. But I
yeah,
wanted to like make sure that the levels can still be completed. Like, if you're like really like laser, if you're really like laser focused, um, like just optimizing your play and just playing the best way you can.
yeah.
So you really feel like you feel like you earned it.
I wonder what a tool assisted speedrun of this would look like. That would actually be pretty interesting.
Probably insane. If you're interested, I could show you like some like high speed gameplay on like screen share or something.
Yeah, we can do something like that. I mean, give me a second to die, and
Yeah.
we'll do that. We'll do that right now. Um, yeah, it should be possible. I'll just expand this to pop out the voice channel here. Yeah, the strafe and the gravity do cancel each other out. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, does it let you do a screen share through this? We might have to not use this,
Yeah.
and you might have to send me a call, like a direct message, because that.
I I just had to close my other games. I have like 3 games open.
Okay. Okay, here I'm gonna wave to initiate a chat with you, and I'm gonna quickly we can when you're ready to do a screen share, I will close this down, switch over to a direct call because I think
I
the screen share.
should be able. I'm gonna try it.
See if it works. I know I've had people try it before and have trouble with this interface.
I'll. I mean, I've definitely shared screen plenty of times on Discord before, but it keeps moving around. Stop that. Why is it only now being stupid? Okay.
Yes,
Can
Dr.
you see?
Tronic F-Zero does have an anime. No, I can't.
Okay, that must be a permission thing then. Okay, we can
Yeah.
just do the thing.
Yeah. Okay. So just initiate a call on your end, and we'll pick it
Yeah,
up from there.
sure thing.
There we go. And now you should be able to do a screen share.
Yep, there we go.
All right. Popped out, and you are center screen. Nope,
Moving
I'm
around and
center
stuff.
screen. There we go. Now I can. Yes.
All right, cool. So the first level, pretty easy. You just go forward. Oh, I moved, so I died.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. But the fun part is you can actually go faster. Like I said, well, if I do it right. Strafing in the same direction as you
Oh
go.
my goodness.
Yeah.
How much time does that shave off if you do it that way?
About a fifth of a second, which is a lot in this game.
Yikes. I mean, I'm reminded of there's Portal has like a famous or rather infamous test chamber that's like the world record is being measured in like individual frames because it's so tightly optimized.
Yeah. I just played through it actually. Like I designed all the levels to be played in a very specific way. So like the quote unquote correct way, like I just played,
Yeah.
and then the optimized way where you can like sort of cheat the mechanics to get a slightly better time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I figured that the sort of optimal is that even possible? That like narrow path is that just there to troll you?
Oh, I'll show. Okay, so here's the long way, and
Uh,
this way. Oh wait, crap. Actually, let me just complete this level first, because I can go back to the
oh
previous
yeah, yeah,
one.
yeah.
But
This is the
the
anxiety
anxiety,
curve.
yeah, very hard. Okay, so I can go to the previous one. This is
Mhm.
actually possible, but it will take me a few tries.
Right.
It
Whoa,
will take
very
me a few
close.
tries.
Okay. It would be like actually hilarious and in keeping with the spirit of what you've described if it was just actually impossible. Like
Yeah.
at the very like last neck of the
There you
little tunnel, you just have an invisible collider, so you just die no matter what.
go. Oh man, that would be too mean. Again, I want to make sure the player once they get it, make it so that they feel like they've earned it.
Sure, I'm being caricatures uncharacteristically slash like a caricature of I would never actually do something like that. I am
Right.
regular viewers will know that that is the complete antithesis of the way that I would design something. But it's still fun to imagine. You know, I can still imagine terrible things, which is kind of in
Good
itself
stuff.
a. Oh, this level's given.
Okay. Jeez. There is like a good way to do it, but like I'm not doing it right. Okay, wait. Yeah, you go over to here because like the rocks
Yeah.
occupy the least space like in this area. Jeez. Yeah, you just gotta get the timing right. Nice. There we go.
Yeah. So, moving on with the regular questions, what would you
Yeah.
describe as the most difficult problem that you encountered during the jam, and how did you solve it?
Um, okay, so I'll give two answers. I'll give a tangible answer as in like a feature that was hard.
Mhm.
So I had issues with like the managing the level
Mhm.
like system because that was something I just overthought and I just didn't know like a good way to just do it like really easily because I wanted to also have like readable names for my level so I could identify each one. And I wanted to
Mhm.
be able to go back and forth like you saw in the menu there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I literally just gave up and did the thing that I didn't want to do is like put an array of strings in the player controller and just read the levels from that. And then
Uh-huh.
the player, god dang it, and the player is responsible for going from level to level.
Mhm.
That's a very game jammy solution. And I feel like doing that, I learned a lot about like the compromises that you have to make, which leads me to like the real thing
Mhm.
is like time management and like
Yeah.
prioritizing features. I keep dying on that. Like I cut a lot of features that I didn't want to cut, like like a level selector, which would be really cool, so you could just go
Yeah.
to the levels that you want to go to and stuff like that. I also got distracted for a big portion of the development cycle just playing a game that I haven't played in a long time. So it kind of was, even though I submitted it for the jam, it ended up being
Mhm.
48 hours anyway. But
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah, especially me like having like dealing with ADHD, that like distractions are a very big challenge for me when it comes to stuff like this and perfectionism. Just
Right.
getting over that.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely participated in like longer scale game jams. It's like, oh, this is a week long jam that I made a game in 11 hours. Just because sometimes you just don't always have time. Okay, here
Yeah,
we are. We're back to
yeah,
the gravity
the
wells.
graph.
And now we actually get to see new game content.
Yeah. All right,
Um,
level 9. This level is called Hell.
Oh my god. Um,
I'm gonna try to speed run it, like do like the most optimized way to do it.
oh my goodness.
But like there are very many like pressure points that are easy to die on, so it's a little rough.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So do you have any plans to continue development on this game?
Oh yeah, I definitely want to add some features and like some UX tweaks, like resetting the cycles that somebody mentioned, stuff like
Yeah.
that. The level selector is one of the big things. I also want to add like a quote unquote medal system. So basically, when you finish a level, it'll tell you how good you did.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Little time
Yeah.
trial.
Yeah.
Give the player a sense for how quickly they could be doing it.
Right. I think that's a PB. I think I just got a personal best on this level.
Well, there we go. It's a live recording, so
nice.
proof's in the pudding.
All right, and this is actually the last level, but it is a very long and stressful gauntlet of a level. For comparison, that last level was 5 seconds. This one is more than 20.
Yikes! Oh
Yeah.
man. Well, I've got bad news. Unless you are used to talking while you play, it uses up like most of your brain power. You're gonna have a difficult time. So.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I also play like high level rhythm games, so this is this is not really that far from me like talking while playing that. Shit.
No.
Yep, I made it pretty hard, and that was the intent.
So, are there any other features that you're looking to add?
A friend mentioned to like sort of like make the graphics more consistent. That's painful. Like, because I have this like ship here with like realistic looking smoke and realistic looking boosts and explosions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I could like simplify that and sort of like unify the graphical look of everything. And aside from what else I other mentioned, all the other stuff that I mentioned, I don't think there's much more to add. Like, this is a very like focused experience. I don't really like want to like just add features for the sake of adding them. But
no,
if there's anything cool I can think of, then I might just throw it in there. Like another frustrating mechanic.
How about a boost strip?
Oh yeah. Somebody suggested, I actually did want to add like a system where you had like a limited amount of time, or not a limited amount of time, but actually yes, that, but also like a limited amount of boosts for each level.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
that would be like, yeah.
I don't think you need to add a limited number of boosts. I think what you could do is similar to the scoring for the like speed, like how fast can you clear this. You could also have a like beat the level in X many boosts, like the way that the original Portal game had like fewest portals and also fewest steps, and you could go for those records independently.
Yeah, like missions or like achievements.
Yeah, exactly. Like because that way you're not limiting the play experience of the core game. You're making it so that people can go out of their way to like get extra like perfections on top of already having beaten it.
Right. Yeah, I like that. Gives a lot of replay value. And like what's funny is that adding the timer already gave it so much replay value, because like I can like optimize levels and aim for PBs and stuff like that. That just like such a small feature just added so much. PB?
Yeah. Nice.
Amazing.
Yeah, and as Dr. Tronic just pointed out, that since you can beat the levels by using strafing, you can technically beat them all with 0 boosts. But
I mentioned before that's intentional, because this game is very hard, and I wanted, since it's a game jam, I wanted everybody to be able to at least get through it, right? So they can see, if they can't play it, what they would be able to play if they played this for, I don't know, like a year and their skills. Something like that. But yeah. Crap.
I'm almost wondering if, like, rather than needing to like play the game 90 degrees out of phase by using the boosts or by using the strafing, I'm wondering if at that point it might just like make sense to have a like fixed speed button that just makes you go forward.
That kind of removes the challenge aspect of the game, which is why I don't want to do something like that.
Yeah, but isn't the strafing already doing that?
Yeah, but it's doing it very slowly.
Yes, but that's all I meant, is just have a button that makes you go forward at that slow speed. because you already can quote unquote move forward. You're just like 90 degrees tilted.
Right, but like the challenge of the game is the fact that you can't that like so you can go really slowly forward like this, but
Hmm.
to get the most speed and the most time,
Yeah.
you have to boost. You have to go
Yes.
like this.
Yes.
But the challenge is you can't turn while doing that. That's the entire influx. So like if I just added a way for you to go forward fast, that would like remove the challenge of the game.
Oh, okay. I mean, so I'm just trying to advocate for the possibility of you can already like make slow but consistent progress by boosting. So by leaning into that and just acknowledging that, like, yes, you can just do that, but like not in a way that should interfere with the sort of like stated purpose of the game. But also, you're quite right that by allowing for that option, people might think that that is quote unquote the way to play the game, and that they just don't teach the
Right.
boosts. So yeah, wouldn't want to do something like that.
Yeah. And I also like just giving these mechanics to the player and just sort of just letting them do whatever they want with them.
Hmm.
I like games that do that.
Oh man, I'm almost thinking it would be neat to map the boosting to the like analog position of the triggers, so that you could like control the extent to which you boost by just like pulling down the trigger really quickly for a fast boost, or just like feathering on the trigger for a small one. I wonder how that would feel.
Oh yeah. Like what you mean like by feathering like moving slowly like this?
Just that like because the if the bar that influences that. Oh, please don't turn the screen like that.
Oh sorry.
Uh, the like because the triggers are analog and have this like 0 to 1 value, if that
Yeah.
influenced the amount that the bar was charged,
Hmm.
then you could sort of set the speed that you want to boost based on like how much you're pulling the trigger down.
Okay.
And then I don't know if you
Yeah.
just like hit a separate button to boost, but
Yeah,
it
that's a
would
good
be
idea.
it would be interesting
Um
because then like you could charge up a boost really quickly by just pulling the trigger down and just like mashing full boost speed. But I don't know, it would be weird. I'd be curious to try it, knowing full well that it probably wouldn't work.
yeah. That's a good idea. And I actually did kind of maybe think about us any like sort of system that would let you choose your own boost.
Hmm.
But I actually kind of like the timing based challenge of this where a friend of mine, this was a complaint that he gave me,
Uh-huh.
but the fact that you have to be careful with your boost and time your releases and your presses. And I like the fact that the game makes you do that.
Yeah, I think it probably would work better without it. I just happened to have it
Yeah.
as a thought, and I was like, oh, that would be interesting. I wonder how that could work.
Yeah.
Henry Lee, not sure how to say that last name there. Longwind is mentioning that, by the way, for level management, you can export var levels, array, packed scene.
Does that load the levels all at once? Because I specifically didn't want to do that.
Hmm. Actually, that one is really cool because holding it right before a corner and releasing it at the right time is awesome. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's the satisfying part. Like when you nail it just right with these controls that are almost working against you.
yeah. I mean, in that sense, it's like a Mario Kart boost, which I do have experience playing Mario Kart. So that
Yeah.
idea of like getting into a drift and building up your boost and then releasing it at the right time to launch forward. Yeah, it's a great feeling.
Yeah. This is secretly the hardest level, but I like optimizing it anyway,
Yeah.
even though it's literally level 2.
Nice. 184. All right. Well, I think that's about all we have in terms of questions, unless anyone would like to mention something or ask a question, rather. In the meantime, do you have any other projects on the go or any social media channels you want to plug?
I'm pretty active on Twitter and not really anywhere else. So you can just follow me at hey, I'm MapleLeaf because all the other combinations of MapleLeaf were taken.
Sure.
um and I don't really have any other like actual oh yeah, I also have a SoundCloud. I produce music from time to time. I released a song a couple days ago.
Yeah, if you'd like to drop either of those links in the chat, feel free. And
Yeah,
Captain Crunch is asking, how did you make the level geometry?
the level geometry. So it's actually kind of hard to explain. Not really. I'm trying to just trying to figure out the best way to explain it. So Godot has the polygon collider, which you can define arbitrary areas of polygon collision. And I, to not repeat the effort of going from collider to polygon, I actually generate polygon 2D objects from those colliders. So I can make a level that's comprised of multiple shapes that are put together, and that will define your safe area, basically your limited space, as it were.
Okay.
Yeah. And the way that the death check works, and I'll just go ahead and drop the SoundCloud.
Sure.
And also, before I forget, my Twitter. So the way that the collision works is Godot doesn't really have a way to as far as I know, it doesn't have a way to check if you're exactly fully within the area, right? Because if you're touching the edge of the area, that's when you should die, not when you fully leave it. So what I did is I put these very small collision points, very small circles around the player, 4 of them. And when any one of those points leaves the level area, that's when you die. So it will look as if you touch the edge, when really it's one of those tiny little circles leaving the area completely.
Interesting.
And that was kind of an interesting challenge to solution to come up with for that. So I could basically make infinitely sized walls that go forever in practice.
No, that's really cool. I'm glad. Thank you for asking that question, Captain Crunch, because I honestly, it did occur to me to ask, oh, how's it done? And I was like, oh, it's probably just doing a geometry. I knew that Godot had a system for creating geometry. I'm glad it extends into 2D as well. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, MapleLeaf, thank you so much for joining me on the stream here today. If you do end up putting some more work into this project and would like to resubmit it, or if you participate in a future game jam and you'd like to share it, I'd be more than happy to have you back on the stream.
Yeah, for sure. It was really fun. Thanks for, even if it was motion disorienting, thanks for, just looking at the game and everything.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm looking forward to this or other future jam projects, so.
Yeah.
All right. Bye for now.
Yep. See ya.